know who she is? She won it a few years ago in Delhi. She began hiring blind and deaf workers just because she couldn't stand having them, not there. Well, their primary desire to make a difference causes them, with huge handicaps, to outperform totally capable workers. And so that yearning to make a difference is there, and she has capped it at a very, very extreme level that's profitable to her, and it creates security for people who would not have had jobs otherwise. So that's capping yearning. Okay, then I'm going to go right on to the next part. This is where we're going to spend most of our time, which is engaging. So can you take that yearning into action? Can I, as a leader, can I take a risk? My desire to be with you, will I risk you not doing so well? This is where delegation comes in. See, too often, I have two things I want. I want to get the job done well, but I also want you with me as a good team. Too often, I focus on getting the job done and I lose you as a team member. I don't allow you the freedom to make mistakes. Engagement requires that you take the yearning and translate it into action. You need to create an environment that facilitates that. There has to be permission for mistakes. You folks jumped on that one right away. So you have to allow that to happen. Your transformational leader taps the hearts and minds of the people that they lead, because they are leading from their heart and their mind. They are engaged, and they want you engaged. They allow disagreement. They allow discourse. They allow questioning. Things tend to be up in the air more. At risk we've covered, and performative learning is a huge part of what we do. There isn't a lot of freedom in our world for mistakes. So as educators, a big part of our educational methodology is that people are always engaging in some kind of an external experiment in their world. And we expect them to make mistakes, to learn, and to grow. And they have to come back and demonstrate that. No one in our master's or doctoral program can complete a course without having demonstrated how they've learned and grown themselves, which includes the mistakes they've made, and how they've helped someone else learn and grow in that course. So we try to institutionalize that the best we can. And we also have what we call learning laboratories, where there's a high safety so that you can actually make mistakes with others in the realm of communication, teamwork, and other things like that. We have heads of major companies who are part of... You wanted to say something?
Yes.
Yeah, please do.
What I'm saying, learning is also quite different depending on what kind of person I am. If I go by this J. Krishnamurti score, what you are, the world is. So my learning becomes, if I'm very insecure, and for whatever reason, then my learning is also to create safety for myself. And then lead us at this situation that I become more secure and safe.
Right. So
may not be thinking about my followers.
What's this that I started here? Somebody, come on, my people. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So my first level of yearning is just to exist, to have enough air and water. And what's the next one? Safety and shelter. Next one? Affiliation, belonging, and caring. And the next one? Achievement. What did you call it? You call it esteem? Okay, we call it achievement. And the top one? Self-actualization. By the way, as he died, he was working on a 6th level. He was working on a 6th level that has to do with spiritual growth and development. He wrestled with that his whole life. But this would be spiritual realization up here. And he never wrote about that. Actually, he didn't write much anyway. Okay. Yeah.
There are, on other end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
If I go, there are leaders who have done so much of harm to the world.
Yeah.
And there are leaders who have done so much harm to corporations. And they are at the basis, I don't know where he has with that, where they fit, but they are well known, they have been seen, they have done this very good. So there is a contradiction here.
There's a huge limitation in what we're saying today. I could get into this very heavily because you're right on. But this is what I didn't want to talk about because I want to talk about it. So think about humanity evolving. Okay? So in the beginning, you're surviving. It's kind of like Maslow again. An individual is in the cave surviving. Then the individual comes together as a tribe to pull together. Okay, and this is what we're not talking about today. Okay, and then what empire is next? The Mongols, Rome, Egypt. Those are simply tribes who are afraid, dominating other tribes out of fear. Fear runs almost everything we do. Empire. The next thing was, it's called saintly. By the way, this is Claire W. Graves. He never wrote a book. His work has been pulled together. It's pulled together in Spiral Dynamics by Dr. Don Beck, a good friend of ours. By the way, we got to be friendly with him because we mapped this internally. He maps it societally. So we have completely different yearnings given the different situations people are in. So at the next level, you have the capitalistic mastery of the world. Then you have a social concern and our yearnings. So what we're seeing is hugely limited. It is absolutely biased at this level up here. Individual principle-based living. So we are elitists right now talking up here, which is the hole you pointed out in what I'm saying. It's just so complex I didn't know how to go into it. And there's actually another one up here which would be holism. So, and Graves believes that the yearning goes beyond that, beyond anything we can imagine today. So given your life circumstances, your primary yearnings will be different. There are those core human learnings, but they take different shapes. Oh, I can't stay out of this. We got to go back. I got to go back to this. Right on.
We can be excited about this. At the same time, a transformational leader, because he or she has individualized consideration, tries to stay sensitive to the needs of all the different constituents and followers. And there's work being done in different companies and corporations to understand what are the yearnings of individual departments or different kinds of levels within the businesses. The more you are aware of the different kinds of needs and yearnings of the people you're leading, you can then design and support them differently. And it is a very important thing for leaders to be aware of, because it is different for different people depending on their situation. So should I give you the microphone? I don't know if I'm going to give it to you.
I got to take my back. Okay, so this is what we were talking with Dr. Risby, because he was talking about what's effective in Indian corporations, which isn't necessarily the most effective leadership style elsewhere. It has to do with what level are your staff operating at. And his research demonstrated very clearly that most of what is happening is a need for leadership at the saintly level. That's you're going to get your satisfaction in the afterlife. I'm going to be a good person today, but I don't expect to make a lot of money. You know, or I want power and control or whatever. And